Hello, I'm Jonasz Rawiński and you're watching Break the Fake. They make them, we break them, and tell you everything you need to know. Putin and technology, a tale as old as time. It's always intriguing when the leader of a global superpower admits to being a bit technologically challenged. In an era where toddlers can navigate tablets before they can walk, it's almost endearing to think of Vladimir Putin grappling with the basics of a computer. Perhaps he's still mystified by the any key, or wonders where the internet is actually stored.
Владимир Владимирович, а вы сами интернетом пользуетесь?
Знаете, очень примитивным образом. Так, иногда нажимаю несколько кнопок, чтобы кое-что посмотреть.
Но все-таки доводится, да? Да. Нашими поисковыми системами?
Вашими.
Прекрасно.
Recently, Putin was asked whether he uses the internet, a question many have pondered. His response? Well, let's just say he's more comfortable with a rotary phone than a touchscreen. He mentioned that he sees no shame in picking up the phone to call Trump directly. How quaint. It's like imagining world leaders swapping secret notes folded into paper airplanes rather than engaging through encrypted emails. But let's consider this scenario. Russia, with all its advancements and cyber endeavors, is helmed by someone who prefers analog over digital. Maybe that's the secret strategy. If you don't use the internet, you can't get hacked. Genius, really. While other leaders are tweeting up a storm or addressing their nations via live streams, Putin might be dictating letters or sending carrier pigeons for all we know. It adds a certain vintage charm to modern geopolitics, now doesn't it? Meanwhile, as rumors swirl about whether Trump will return Putin's hypothetical call, one cannot help but picture the Kremlin spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, fielding questions in the early hours of the morning. Is Russia eagerly awaiting a callback? Perhaps they have left voicemails, sent faxes, or even tried smoke signals. After all, desperate times call for classic measures.
Полночь уже, даже нет, первый час ночи. Но сразу несколько вопросов с колес. Да, первый час ночи уже. То есть позвонить Трампу не зазорно, но все-таки мы, получается, ждем, что Трамп первым позвонит.
Ну, послушайте, мы с вами слышали заявление Трампа в ходе предвыборной кампании, что он намерен позвонить Путину еще до инаугурации. Это было сказано. Это было услышано. Посмотрим. У президента вы видели, что президент еще раз подтвердил, что он открыт к диалогу, к равноправному диалогу, взаимоуважительному диалогу. И также еще раз сказал, что мяч на американской стороне.
It's amusing to think that in a world dominated by instant communication, a major player might get sidelined by a reluctance, or perhaps inability, to embrace technology. Maybe Putin prefers things this way, keeping it old school to maintain an air of mystery. Or perhaps he's just not a fan of endless software updates and forgotten passwords.
Мы не за свою свободу боремся только. Не за свои права, не только за свой суверенитет, а защищаем всеобщие права и свободы. Возможность для существования и развития абсолютного большинства государств. В этом, в известной степени, мы видим и миссию нашей страны. Всем должно быть понятно, давить на нас бесполезно, а вот договариваться с полным учетом взаимных законных интересов мы всегда готовы. К этому призывали и призываем всех участников международного общения.
As Russia navigates the complexities of international relations, one wonders if a quick tutorial on internet basics might be in order. After all, even grandparents are video calling these days. Embracing technology could open up new avenues for diplomacy, or at least make it easier to keep up with the global memes. In the end, while the rest of the world tweets, posts and streams, perhaps Putin will continue to do things his way, one phone call at a time. And who knows, maybe the next time the phone rings at Mar-a-Lago, it will be a collect call from Moscow. Vladimir Putin, ever the maestro of political theater, has decided that the show must go on, even if the star has left the stage. In a move that perfectly encapsulates the Kremlin's flair for the absurd, Putin has signed a decree to celebrate the 80th birthday of the late Vladimir Zhirinovsky in 2026. Yes, you read that correctly. A grand celebration is being planned for someone who inconveniently won't be able to attend because he passed away in 2022 at the age of 75. But why let a little thing like mortality get in the way of a good party? After all, this is the same leadership that excels at rewriting history. What's a few missing years between friends? An organizing committee of 35 people, led by State Duma Speaker Vyacheslav Volodin, has been tasked with orchestrating this posthumous extravaganza. One can only imagine the committee meetings. Should we save a seat for him at the banquet table? Perhaps a hologram? Zhirinovsky, the founder of the Liberal Democratic Party of Russia, a name that rings with irony, by the way, was known for his flamboyant and often extremist rhetoric. It is almost poetic that he's becoming the first modern politician to receive such an honor from Putin himself. Previously, these state-sanctioned jubilees were reserved for esteemed scientists, doctors, cultural icons, or long-departed politicians. But why celebrate living contributors to society when you can lionize a controversial figure who can no longer cause any inconvenient scandals? Now, this spectacle raises a few questions. Is this a genuine homage, or is Putin simply missing his old political foil? Maybe it's easier to celebrate allies when they can't upstage you anymore. Or perhaps this is a new strategy. If you can't bring fresh talent onto the stage, just keep applauding the ones who have already made their exit. In any case, the details of how this celebration will unfold remain a mystery. Will there be parades of empty cars, speeches delivered to vacant podiums, a nationwide movement of silence that lasts the entire day? The possibilities are as endless as the Kremlin's capacity for spectacle. One thing is certain. In the grand tradition of Kremlin pageantry, this event will likely be less about honoring Zhirinovsky and more about reinforcing the narratives that keep the current regime afloat. After all, nothing says forward-thinking leadership like a lavish celebration of the past, especially one that glosses over inconvenient truths. So, mark your calendars for 2026. It promises to be a year when the Russian government reaches new heights of self-congratulatory nostalgia, reminding us all that in the reality, history is not just remembered, but reinvented. Russia's latest grand narrative is nothing short of a masterpiece in creative fiction. Apparently, Britain was plotting with Ukraine's armed forces to seize the Kursk nuclear power plant, a bold move that conveniently only became obvious after the fact. Of course, President Zelensky is cast as the scheming villain, while Russia's territorial losses are portrayed as Kiev crossing red lines. How delightfully ironic. But wait, there is more. The Kremlin, in its infinite strategic wisdom, decided on an asymmetric response to this alleged Ukrainian invasion of the Kursk region. Swiftly, they redeployed Russian army reserves to the Pokrovsk area with the grand aim of collapsing the Eastern Front and capturing fortified areas that had eluded them for months. Putin, ever the chess grandmaster, supposedly implemented the Ksk Gambit strategy, achieving miraculous results in the Donbass. It is almost poetic, isn't it? One can't help but admire the sheer audacity of this tale. It's as if reality is merely an inconvenience, easily bent to fit whatever storyline suits the Kremlin's narrative of the day. The notion that Britain and Ukraine conspired to capture a Russian nuclear facility sounds more like the plot of a second-rate spy novel than credible geopolitical event. And with this mystery, we end this episode of Break the Fake. Please stay with us here on TVP World for more latest news and updates.